Yeah, well, okay, let's say it's one cover. I don't know if you have anybody got questions. What we got here?
What capacitor? What kind of?
These 40,000 volt capacitors out of a laser system.
Okay.
I got them on eBay.
What is the length of the rods?
Doesn't matter. The fact I built it exactly what he had. I've actually got another one at home this long. The length of the rod doesn't matter. The material doesn't matter. I've used aluminum, steel.
The distance between.
It doesn't matter. It can build it straight. I just copied what he had out of his book. I figured a lot of people, and I don't mean to knock a lot of people, but a lot of people say, well, I'm going to build what the inventor did, but I'm going to change it. You know? I said, well, let's start with Tesla said to build it this way, and then we'll change it. So at least we know what we're starting with, and we can improve upon it later on. So, but I have tried copper bars, steel bars, aluminum bars, copper tubing. The only thing that does not work is thin wire. You need mass. Mass is required for this to generate the scalar wave.
So what diameter is the rod?
This is 3/8. Any other questions?
Yes, I've got a question. The spark gap there.
Yeah?
Is that carbon electrodes?
These are carbon electrodes. Over here is tungsten electrodes. I have all kinds of electrodes I've used for spark gaps. The gap is, and in fact, I like to use multiple gaps. What's important is the total gap of all the gaps, is not the one gap individually. These just happen to work quite well. These are welding rods.
Right.
You can like carbon welding rods, and I just drill a hole down the middle, tap them, gouging exactly, and I put on. They're cheap and they're easy to use. In fact, these are the original ones I've had for 2 years now on this device. They work really good.
The circuit between the rods and the shunt bar and the spark gap, is that connected in parallel to the wall?
The wall is going parallel this way, and this is hooked across it. So I can put a capacitor across the high voltage, but I'm shorting it out, a spark gapping across the end here. And there's there was a circuit on the table here. We'll show you. You can look at it later on.
Okay, yeah. So that was my other question. Will you have time later?
Yeah,
to talk
absolutely.
about that? Thanks.
Have you noticed any health benefits or any being in the close proximity to the scalar energy?
I wouldn't call it a benefit, or I haven't been around long. I do know that generally speaking, and I have decided this is a, what do you call it? One of those, somebody tells you you're going to feel this way? Placebo effect or not. We can try later on. I just happen to know when I hang on to this for a while, I tend to feel a little bit of energy in my shoulders, and I can't sleep for like 8 hours. They're just, like at 9 o'clock at night, we're awake all night. It's kind of like taking coffee, I find. My feeling is that. Some people say I don't feel big, but I do feel that effect.
Hook me up for my 14-hour drive home.
There you go. In fact, in his book, in the Tesla lecture book, I think I got the label here. Lecture number. In 1898, he gave a lecture, and he called it high-frequency oscillators for electrotherapy and other purposes. This circuit right here is his electrotherapy device, which he would let you lay down on a sofa at a hospital or doctor's office, and they would treat you with it. What they would do, simply, is these lugs here, and I built these lugs because he had them. That's the only reason. I wanted to see the way he did it. I find it very convenient. He would take a point here, 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 or here, whatever point he was trying to do, usually from here to here or the other side. And if he had like a cancerous tumor on each side, he'd hook a metal plate on each side of it, and he'd fire it up and run it for a while. And then he'd send you home. And they claimed they had an 80 to 90% cure of cancer on the body from this thing. So that's a health benefit, but I haven't proven that.